Making braided beanie for a 5-year-old girl, what we will need is, first we need to create a beanie. For this project I have taken 3 mm or 5 number hook, and the yarn I am using is Indian yarn Vardhaman Brylon. It's a 4-ply yarn. Like all other beanies, we will start with 12 DC in magic ring. The round 2 will be 2 DC on each DC or in each DC, and it will be 24 DC. Third round will be 36 DC, fourth round will be 48 DC. Likewise, we will go on increasing. For starting a beanie, make a magic ring, pull up a loop, chain 3. This will be counted as first DC in the magic ring. So add another 11, total 12 DC in the magic ring. Join in the third chain from the hook or on the top of first DC that we are going to consider. Chain 2 DC in the same space, 2 DC on each DC. We started with 12. In the next round we will have 24. After doing 6 rows, in the 7th row I have made a little bit of modification. Instead of DC, I have made HDC, line of HDC, keeping the increase pattern continued. Use of HDC will give me additional loop to turn my work, and of course, as this beanie is going to have braid, I will need lot many loops to hook my strands in there. After 7th line, which I made with HDC, the crown measurement is now 6 inches. Now onwards, the plain part of the beanie will start. It will be DC on DC till we need the required height. Now, this is where my increase for the crown ended. This is the line of HDC. From here onwards, I did DC on DC. Currently, the beanie is measuring 7 inches. Now I need to make 3 lines of SC. Last single crochet and slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the line. Final height of the beanie is 7.5 inches, the way I needed it. Now I will not work on beanie. We start with the work to attach more strands and create hair for creating the braids. What I will do is attach stitch markers and create 2 half portions of the beanie. If you have ever noticed, this would be your one ear to another ear distance, and generally 1/3 of this is your forehead, or this is where your locks are kept by the hairdressers. Only this much portion will have hair locks, and then this central line, these side lines, of course in the back line also, all hair or all yarn strands will be attached. Ponytails will be created here, and then the braids will happen 15 inches. For short locks, I'm going to use my 6 inches scale and cut the yarn accordingly. I have wrapped around yarn 25 times. And I need short hair, So I will cut it again in half. Now these strands I will lock in this portion so that it creates a look of hairstyle. Now I have started weaving in long strands. Each strand is around 60 inches. So when folded 30 inches, I will weave in two lines of strands. One will go to the left pony and another will go to the right pony. So in the each single crochet space, I have weaved in only one strand, whereas in DC space, I am weaving in two strands. This beanie looks very time consuming, but trust me, when you will see the outcome, you will love it. Let me show you one more time how I do the weaving in of strands. These are the lines of my single crochet. I have not done it in the outer loop. This is the loop between line number 2 and 3. I'm just pulling the thread. And this is how I will fix it. Next would be this. After pulling in, just put the hook in the next loop. Now this is my first line and the second line would be this. I'm putting two lines of strands. First I'm putting it all around the base of the beanie, and then I will go vertically. This is how the beanie will look after the first round of long strands. Here you can see the short strand, so this is going to be the front side. Now you can understand a bit how it will look. And then all strands would turn just above the ear. First I added strands around the base line. 3 lines of SC is my base for adding strands. Then I started adding strands vertically, where this will create a partition and strands will go in two directions to make two ponytails. Along with that, if you remember, this is my line of HDC where one loop is hanging out. I am adding strands on that loop also, so that my braids will be very thick and the kid will enjoy wearing the hat. I am done with base part and the crown part. Started adding strands around the height. One portion is over. Now I will be adding the strands in the crown area. Please understand this area is circular and we want the strands to be added in straight line. I always prefer to add my stitch markers well in advance so that I don't miss out on the center. Braids will look good if the partition is clear and clean and neat. Step number 1 was adding these small strands for forehead, then covering all around the neck area, then adding strands around the crown area. Now I have started with the height portion and it will go to crown area. Weaving in all the strands is over. Do you see how thick my braids are going to be? Wow! Now I need a help. So I have called my friend Dipti, who will help me to hold this beanie. Then we will have proper 2 braids and I'll give some shape to these forehead locks, and then my beanie is ready. मग काय करायचं मला